Welcome and congratulations on choosing to invest in yourself and finally taking the leap of faith to selling online through Etsy. I'm so excited to have you in here. So a couple things I want to bring up as you get through the course. First and foremost, everything that is inside here is going to blow your mind. No one is teaching the method that I am sharing. Additionally from that, I know that your time is precious. This is why all the lessons are condensed, and I'm only spending time in what is absolutely necessary for you to put in place. So it is important for you to digest the content by going through each chapters one by one. I will give you a specific example. For instance, when it comes to setting up your Etsy store, it's vital that you have all the elements that I share with you so you don't get your Etsy store banned. Every chapter has its purpose and is essential in your success selling on Etsy. I guarantee that if you follow all the steps that are within the course, you will get your sales immediately. Because like I've said, I cut out all the fluff and have all the elements necessary for your success. Additionally from that, I'm always at your disposal. Please know that we have live Q&As which are recorded. So if you're not able to attend, you can rewatch them. You can send me all your questions ahead of these live Q&A so I can answer them properly. See, this is not just a course where you watch the content and you never take action. This is why I have these live Q&A. I want to ensure that if you feel stuck, you have all the tools at your disposal to be unstuck and continue on your way to getting those sales on Etsy. There's plenty of holiday seasons that are on the way, and the beauty of Etsy as well is that people are constantly looking for gifts. So let's dive through the course. I'm so excited to have you here. Let's make it happen. This course is designed to get you to your way to success in 30 days or less, and definitely getting you that first sale. This is why I've put together this roadmap to help you get focused on what's important to get you there. So in this course, what we're going to focus on is obviously building your store. You need to ensure that you follow all the steps. Then you're going to do research, and we're going to cover that. This is where you find your gold seeds. So look at Etsy, if you will, as a plot, and you need to have as many seeds as possible to be able to harvest your crop. So I encourage that you download this roadmap. In this course, we're going to go over research, how to have a message that's going to stand you out from the crowd, create those super seeds, if you will, that are going to germinate so you can harvest that crop quicker than your competition, and then strategy to help you plant those crops. Optimize and fertilize and scale harvesting section we won't cover in this course because my focus really is to help you get from stage one, which is building that store, having your presence, for you to understand what the rationale is as far as research, writing, finding that gold seed, finding opportunities in the market. Third, messaging, which is extremely important. And a lot of people get that wrong. So we're going to ensure that you understand exactly what it takes to start getting your first sale. And this is all in a part-time basis. So every time you feel like you overthinking it, look at this roadmap. All right, let's get started. The first crucial step is for you to do your research to understand where there's opportunities in the market and understand specifically what your Etsy customers is looking for. One of the biggest mistakes that I see over and over is that people think that they have some ideas and they upload products based on their gut feelings. Everything you do on Etsy has to be through data and through research. Let me give you an example. Clearly on Etsy, probably customers are going in and looking for gifts for their mom, right? But they're looking for different kinds of gift for their mom depending on when the season is. When it's around Mother's Day, well, chances are they're going to do a search, gift for mom, Mother's Day. That's going to be a potential keyword that they're going to use. However, if we're looking for a gift for a mom in October, it could be one of two things. Either it's for a birthday, or perhaps I'm getting married and I want to give her a gift. So what I mean by niche and evergreen versus holiday niches is that evergreen niche is a keyword or a niche in which customers are giving gifts to their relatives all throughout the years. So birthday, wedding, perhaps memorial, the list goes on. Versus a holiday gift is a gift that I give during Mother's Day, Father's Day, an occasion like graduation, an occasion like Christmas, etc. So your first homework is to understand where there are opportunities based on the calendar year. And we're going to talk more about that. Then you need to understand what are people into, what are trends. Again, you're going to get inspired by looking at different places, and don't worry, we're going to cover that. However, it's important for you to upload items that people are actively searching for. I'm going to give you an example. For instance, Squid Games, which is a show, and again, you don't use trademarks, but what I'm trying to say is like Squid Games was really in almost now 6 months, 8 months, a year ago, right? It's no longer trending. So clearly you want to ensure that you have a pulse on what's going on from a cultural standpoint. Now, again, the trick here is obviously don't only get caught up with like cultural events, but what I'm trying to convey here is that trends are just as important and what's trending on Etsy as well. Third is we're going to spy on our competition because that's going to give us data as to what people are currently buying. So a lot of people, when they're getting started on Etsy, they're just uploading for the sake of uploading. They don't have any research in place. They don't have a strategy in place. And in this chapter, I'm going to teach you exactly the tools that you need and what process needs to take place in order for you to find what we're going to call these winning seeds. So the first tool I want you to download, and all of this is going to be on the Teachable platform, where you can essentially click on the links and it's going to provide you with access to all these tools. So the first one is Keywords Everywhere, which is a Chrome extension. And with this Chrome extension, you'll see that you'll be able to see, and here's a little example, you'll be able to see the search volume within Etsy and the competition. And all this data is actually being pulled by Google. Google has a keyword search tool, and this is where it's pulling the data. erank.com, this is a must. This is the tool you're going to be using to come up with different keywords. These keywords is what I call niches. So these keywords are going to give you insights about what is currently trending on Etsy. It's also going to give you insights about how big a competition is for specific keywords. You absolutely need to have that tool, and this tool needs to be set up with your Etsy shop. So you need to essentially connect your Etsy shop to eRank. The third tool you absolutely will need as well is Etsy Hunt. Etsy Hunt is a Chrome extension, and this is going to allow you to do competitive research and see what listings are getting the most sell. So for instance, this is an example. You can see that this listing had 4 sales in the last 7 days and 9 sales overall. So you can also see the tags that they're using. So this is insights you're going to need to understand of all the Etsy listings that are available on Etsy, what is actually getting bought by customer. So this is insights about potential in the market. And then the last one that I recommend is spypro.io. And this is a print-on-demand tool that shows all the Facebook and Instagram ads that other competitors are using across multiple print-on-demand suppliers. And the reason I like that tool, I don't have it listed here, but essentially the reason I like that tool is because it gives you data as to what is performing well, and you can get inspiration outside of Etsy, which is going to be very important when we go over the messaging aspect. All right, so let's get started. So the first step, and this sheet, which is a Google Excel sheet, is also available on Teachable. And what I've done for you, I've done a lot of the work already. I've put together all the different niches so you can understand. So for instance, there is gift for her. So to my wife, to my future wife, to my girlfriend, to my husband, to my boyfriend. So I've essentially highlighted all the evergreen niches. Your homework is to fill out all the potential sub niches. These are occasion niches, obviously baby niche, which is like baby shower and wedding niche and birthday and memorial, encouragement, all that. These are evergreen occasions. And the holiday niches are Mother's Day, graduation, Father's Day, the holidays, etc. So you're going to use this Excel sheet, and Obviously, take also into consideration the shopping holidays. So Christmas is a big one, Valentine's, Mother's Day. Make sure that you check as well. Mother's Day in the US is different from Mother's Day in the UK, Father's Day, and graduation. So depending on when you're starting this course, take that into consideration. I would say that you want to prepare for a holiday at least 6 weeks in advance, because Etsy's a little weird. Sometimes it'll take 1 week to rank your listing. Sometimes it can take up to 2 weeks. So you want to make sure that you are ready. For Christmas, I would say you want to start uploading listing as early as September, as early as October, just because you want to make sure that you're setting yourself apart. All right, so what you're going to do is that you're going to take this Excel sheet and you're going to come up with as many broad niches and refine. So here's an example. To my wife, there's anniversary gift for wife Mother's Day, to my wife necklace, police wife. Next, you're going to go on eRank and you're going to type out all these parent niche keywords and look at the competition. So gift for wife, as you can see, first anniversary gift for wife. The competition is very low, but the Google search is about 1,000. You want to make sure that the Google search is at least 1,000. If it's below that, it's not enough search volume for you to get enough sales. Pastor wife is another good one. As you can see, the competition is lower and the Google searches are lower. Military wife is another one where there's not as much competition and the search volume here is 2,900, which is even better than first anniversary gift for wife. And the list goes on, 10-year anniversary gift, etc. So what I want you to do, and I'm going to show you right now how to do this, is go on eRank and find all these opportunities and start embedding it within the Excel sheet. Obviously, take into consideration as to where you are in the year and when you're getting started, right? So if you are doing this in May, or I would say in March, Mother's Day is around the corner, May 8th. So if you're just starting in March or April, then there's opportunities there. If you're starting in May, it's already too late for Mother's Day. You might want to have gifts for graduation or Father's Day and also have evergreen. Summer, well, a lot of people get married in the summer, so that could be another niche. So have all those things into consideration when you come up with opportunities. So let's open up eRank so I can show you exactly how to do this. When you go to eRank, what you'll want to do is go under Keyword Explorer. And this is where you're going to include a niche. In this case, let's include to my wife, which I can't spell. To my wife, we're going to do a quick search. And what eRank is going to do for us is essentially populate this with all the related searches, right? Father's Day gift from wife. So this is where you're going to get your data. See, the searches in this case are rather low. Not sure I would spend time on this keyword. However, this is a good opportunity. Father's Day is around the corner. I'm shooting this in April. So as you can see, this could be an opportunity because Father's Day is in June. In this case, to my wife necklace, well, the search volume is a little low, so I'm not going to touch that. 3,600, that's actually great. Father Day gifts from wife. Oh, well, this is very interesting. I guess it's spelled differently. So there you go. This has a really healthy search volume, 3,600. So meaning 3,600 people are going on Etsy and looking for that keyword right now. And the competition is still rather low. So we're like, whoa, I need to get on this. Police wife. The search volume is a little on the low side. So don't really spend your time doing this. 1,300 pastor wife, etc. So go down that list and see where there are opportunities. And the thing is too, is you can click on this to get even more data on some of those listings, right? So you can look at other keyword ideas like pricing range, which you don't really need, but it's going to give you additional ideas as well. So spend a good hour or two putting this list together so you can have a strategy in place and populating this Excel sheet. Now let's go over step 2. Step 2 is to go over all those keywords that you found and populate in your Excel sheet and actually go on Etsy. You'll have keywords everywhere, Chrome extension already. you're going to do a quick search for Army Wife, and you're going to look for other competitors that are successfully selling these items. Additionally from that, you're going to do a quick gut check on the search volume. So Army Wife, as you can see, there's 400 and 500 people looking for this term. And you just have to scroll down and see what are other suppliers selling. You also need to look, don't focus on looking only at other Shine-On brands. Look at as well as t-shirt and cards, and I'll talk more about this. So the third thing then you want to do is, okay, so you went back on Etsy, you used those keywords those sub-niche keywords. So in this case, let's say Army Wife. And what you're going to do is Army Wife or Military Wife, you're going to look at, this is the Etsy Hunt Chrome extension, which is absolutely genius. It shows you how many sales these items have gone overall. So this necklace, this is not a Shine-On vendor. And again, people are not selling the necklace, guys. Like really, because I've heard this in the past, people are selling the message that is behind the card more than anything. So in this case, 57 sales. So we know this is successful. So what I would do is take a screenshot and look further, deeper into what that message is. This one makes sense because, I mean, obviously it's just a last name, so this doesn't really do us justice, but go through and look at all the opportunities. You want to make sure, ideally, that the screenshots you're taking of other competitors have at least had one sell in the last 7 days or a healthy total. So this is the this is the third step. And additionally from that, now the fourth step is for you to get your inspiration not just from other Shine-On suppliers. In this case, as you can see, I took screenshots of, this is a Shine-On. So you can see that they're getting a lot of healthy sales, and this is for Mother's Day niche. So I would look at that message, and we're going to cover in the next chapter what you do with the messages, but you're like, okay, well, this is doing well. And so is this message card. Thanks for everything, Mom. I turned out great. Like, why is this performing well? Because there's emotion. It's funny. My mom's going to receive it and she's going to have a laugh at it, right? This one is something that's like pop culture related. So make sure that you're looking at other places. This is what's going to set you apart from other Etsy Shine-On sellers. A lot of other Etsy Shine-On sellers are lazy. They're only looking at other Shine-On and they're just replicating. What you want to do is really get those creative juices going. And partially the way you do that is through looking at other categories like message cards or candles, etc. And next, we're going to get even more inspiration. One tool that I'm recommending you check out as well is SpyPro.io. In this case, I did a quick search for Shine-On, and it's going to give me all the different ads that are currently running for Shine-On. And based on these statistics, we can see like this one had 23 shares. So it's really resonating to the audience. This one only 8, this one 13, so this one has potential. What do they all have in common? Well, they're going after specific niches. And again, these are Facebook ads that other Shine-On sellers are creating. And the reason I like to use SpyPro is because, again, it's giving me additional information. Now, a little caveat, SpyPro is on the more expensive side. It's about $99 a month. So, this is really up to you whether or not you want to use it, especially if you're feeling stuck with ideas, but this is not a must-have. You can get even more inspiration from other places like Pinterest and Amazon. Let me show you. So these are essentially inspirations that I took from Pinterest. And this is just a Canva. This is just regular cards. So I'm grabbing inspiration from as many places as possible. So what you want to do overall for this section, right, is I want you to spend a decent amount of time on eRank and coming up with as many sub-niches as possible. The idea here is for you to find those gold seeds. What those gold seeds are those keywords where there's not as much competition, and this is essentially you're going to take those keywords and you're going to start brainstorming in the next phase, in the next step, for unique message cards, right? You're going to come up with phrase, ideas, trends, etc. So really here, what you're doing is you're looking at what people are actively searching for on Etsy. What are they wanting? What are they buying? You're then spying on the competition to get a sense of what's actually selling, and you're going to gather all that data. So next step after watching this chapter, I want you to take that Excel sheet, Google Sheet that I provided you, identify 5 to 10 sub niches to go after. Ideally, you want to just start with 5 to get the juices rolling. You're going to look for best opportunity keywords. So those are keywords with competition less than 30,000. On eRank, it's going to be orange usually. And then you're going to spy on your competition using Etsy Hunt and see if you find those best sellers. I'll see you in the next chapter. In this chapter, now that you've done your research, we're going to discuss how you can stand out and create what I call super seeds. These are seeds or listings that have more potential than others to actually become an item that you're going to be harvested. So what I mean by that, simply put, is that this is a seed that's going to enable you to make money. Because a question I get asked a lot is, how many listings do I need to upload? Now, when you're getting started, I would say at least 50 listings. And the reason simply being is that you're still discovering what has potential from a messaging standpoint. But you could get sales with only 10 listings. It just depends on the quality of your listing. And this is what we're going to discuss. The goal here is to ensure that you have good quality listings with really strong messages, strong signature that really grab the attention of your customer in order to get those sales. So what you're going to look at, again, is go through that exercise, looking at what's missing from the market. So for instance, as everybody else is selling a To My Wife necklace, right? How can I make it funnier? And one way could be To My Dough, or being more specific with your niche, but not to where we're going to talk about the following. How can you say it better? How can you be funnier, be an open letter? How can you design it better? And why would your customer buy from you? Will they laugh? Will they cry? So in this chapter, really the key is to get you to a place where you're going to be putting together really strong messages and strong copy. The tools you're going to need here include Google Slides, and I'll show you why. This is how you're going to track all your research finding in one place. Canva.com is going to be your one place to go ahead and create those designs. All you have to do essentially is create a 1000 by 1000 Canva template. Content Row is a great tool that I encourage you to check out. The link is going to be as well on Teachable. And this is what's going to allow you to Frankenstein your messages. And finally, Headline Analyzer, which is going to allow you to analyze your copy and understand its emotional factor. So make sure that you have all these tools available. So step 1, what I want you to do is I want you to add all the research that you did and include the best-selling phrases all in a PowerPoint slide. This is how we do it specifically in my business. So I have my assistant include the number of sales. So this is simply a screenshot that they took from Etsy. So it shows the number of sales in the last 7 days and the total of sales. So we know, wow, this is most definitely a bestseller, right? So To My Daughter, and then he includes as well the writing and the Etsy link so I can take a deeper dive. So do that for all your items depending on the niche that you are looking for. In this case, we were looking at mother and daughter niche. And as you can see, we included all the different items we found in a separate slide. So this is step 1. Step 2, and you can use this or not, but what I recommend that you do is that you pick the content that you found on your slides and you include it in the best-selling phrase area. And this, by the way, is available as well on Teachable, so you'll have the link. So you're going to put going to put the recipient, the intro, and then you're going to put best-selling phrases, and you're going to keep track of all that. And then Frankenstein, this is going to be your version. So the way you can Frankenstein is 2 ways. Either you take all the best-selling phrases and you put them together. You can use also Content Row, and you can create your own item that way. Another thing I want to point out is that sometimes simply adding an adjective to something that's already working, so to my gorgeous soulmate, there's no one stronger than you, blah, 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 like that's something you might want to test because that could perform well. So there's a couple methods of creating best winning messages. The first one is the Frankenstein, or what we call blend method, is where you take what's already working and you blend it to stand out, right? So this is a winning message. As you can see, this is a great anatomy of a winning message. By the way, designs don't need to be overly complicated, especially when you're starting out. So the reason this works is that there's a signature to my future wife, and this is a best-selling phrase. So the pros of this is that it has a to and from format. It's a legible font, and we could see that this is going to make the recipient and also the person who's purchasing, it's going to help them express their emotion. As you can see as well, it's very important that you have at least 3 to 4 sentences. Anything less than that is not enough for your customer to be able to feel emotions. So that's very important. You need to make sure you have 3 to 4 sentences. Now, one of the cons on this is that this no longer works because it's a little too generic and it's been seen over and over. So what you want to do, in this case, I'm grabbing like a funny Hallmark card, but again, just like the chapter or like what we revised in chapter 2, you want to ensure that you have as many inspiration as possible and you blend them together. And so what you're going to do is that this are a couple ideas I came up with by blending this funny Hallmark card with this winning design, just to kind of show you, right? So thank you for ignoring my love handles and farts. At least our days are filled with laughter and happiness. I feel so lucky to share with you our home, our beautiful kids, and pure silliness. Happy Valentine's Day. Love your goofy husband. And you could have different signature to my best wife ever. To my wife, thanks for ignoring my love handles. Like, this is funny. This is going to get a reaction. And again, you could even do, to my wife, thanks for ignoring my love handles. And then I may not be your first date, your first kiss, and include this. And then you can include as well, I feel so lucky to share with you. I feel so lucky to share with you our home, our beautiful kids, la la la. So you get the idea of it. What I want you to do is essentially take all these best-selling phrases and all the things that you found and start Frankensteining it. Start having different multiple options, right? And then start playing with different adjectives as well. This is what's going to help you find those winning super seeds, if you will. So that's the first part. The second one is what I call niche method, right? And I kind of already talked about this, is what you take what's already working and you apply it to a different niche, right? So we know this is working, and all I would have to do is to my biker wife, to my hot dough, etc. Now, very important. This, to my biker wife, this is data that I took from chapter 2, meaning this is data which I have from eRank. eRank will tell me whether or not there's enough search volume for biker wife. Pastor wife could be another one. I mean, if you're giving a gift to a pastor wife, it's not your wife, it's the pastor's wife, and you're thanking them for their service at church. I mean, you also need to keep that into consideration, guys. Like, understand what the keywords are in themselves, right? But to my hot dough for hunting is a gift that was extremely popular. And essentially here you could do to my hot dough, and you can include this word these phrases that are already working. So what you want to do is you want to look at all the keywords that have worked or have low competition and high search volume. Then you're going to take those keywords, you're going to go on Etsy, and you're going to search for all these best winning phrases based on Etsy Hunt and the overall competition. And then the third thing you want to do is essentially put them all together in a slide. And then you're going to Frankenstein them. And this is where you take the best, what's really already winning, and you blend it all together. So let's talk about design. You're going to set up your design on Canva by choosing a 1000 by 1000 template. Okay. So you'll want to get into a cadence of at least uploading 10 designs a day or a week. A day might be too aggressive. Like, you could do it 3 times a week. But whatever cadence really work for you, just make sure that you have a goal of at least uploading 10 designs a week. And this is going to make it really easy once you have a template. I would encourage you, when you're starting out, create a template that works for you and just go from there. So you could do 10 designs for pastor wives or 10 designs for military wife, and you're going to change the signature. You're going to try, to my funny military wife. I don't know. This doesn't work, obviously, but you're going to try different signatures and you're going to try different messages, and you're going to come up with as many different permutations as you can. This is what's going to help you find winners. Now, when it comes to design guidelines, very important, guys. Make sure that your headline and signature is not cut by the necklace. And if it is cut by the necklace, make sure that customers can still read it. If they're not going to be able to read it, that's going to be a disaster. Your fonts need to also be clear. This is really easy to read. The body, make sure that the body is not the body, which I mean the text here. Make sure that it's not covered by the necklace. As a customer, I need to be able to read the message. And the signature should not be covered by the necklace. So this is the design guideline you need to go through. As a customer, if I'm on Etsy, I am able to read this easily. I don't have to squinch my eyes. So use legible fonts. This is the anatomy of a good design. Why does this work? I can read them both. This looks more elegant because it's a darker background. So I encourage you to do darker backgrounds like blacks and navy blues do really well, perform really well. And you can also test the following. So this works well because you could see that it's elegant, it's to my daughter, this message resonates, love mom, big signature, right? And most importantly, guys, as you can see, they have at least 3 to 4 sentences. I've seen plenty of design where it's only one sentence. You cannot grab the attention or the emotion of your customers with only one sentence. This is a great one. In loving memory of your grandpa. I know it hurts and you will miss him, but every day you go out in the world and live as well as you can. Is a tribute to your grandpa. Wear this necklace as a reminder of his infinite love and all the happiness, yada, yada. So why does this work? Because this is very emotional. This is going to get someone who just lost their grandpa. It's going to make them feel better, and it's also going to make them cry. And this is actually the perfect necklace you could test other necklaces as well, but this is a perfect necklace to test. You just include essentially an initial. It's super easy. So when you're creating these designs, you need to ensure as well that it fits with the overall theme. This is probably for daughter graduation or daughter birthday. So this is something very elegant. This is for someone who just lost their dad. So that's why they're using these light blues. Not their dad, their grandpa. They're using these light blues because it probably has the connotation of angels. So the same comes with you're creating, design for bikers, right? So this one works really well because if bikers are probably, a lot of them are into Harley Davidson, right? Versus this one, it works okay. I'm not in love with it simply because this flames and this font feels a little bit more country than it does biker. So here's an example. Look, like this is the Harley Davidson logo. Let's go back. See? If I'm an Harley Davidson lover, chances are I'm going to purchase this before I purchase this. But again, don't get so caught up in the design. I just kind of want to illustrate that it's important to really understand and put yourself in the shoe of your customer. And most importantly, what people are buying is the message. So you could do this card to my writing partner without the wings, and it would perform just as well. However, having that design element does add that extra oomph, that extra element that's going to grab the attention of your customer. So keep that into consideration. Appeal to your customer's sense of belonging. If I'm really into Harley Davidson, chances are I'm going to purchase this because, hey, look, it's the same kind of inspiration as the early Harley Davidson logo that I'm familiar with. I'm going to share with you as well, and this is all going to be in Teachable, some tools you can use for design elements if you are looking to add designs. Now, very, very important. This is more advanced techniques. I want you to stick to something very simple when you're getting started. Something like this. Focus on messaging and getting it to the right place because that's is better worth your time than going crazy with design ideas. Once you've mastered and gotten your first few sales, you can experiment with more design elements. So you can use websites like Vexels that create and will have access to illustration elements that you can include. There is also Creative Fabrica, where they have elements for as little as $1. And all these links, again, I'm going to provide on Teachable for you. So here are the next steps I want you to work on for this chapter. Come up with powerful signature and messages based on the research that you've done. Your phrases need to pull the customer in and be emotional. You need to have 3 to 4 phrases. The design, ensure that it's simple, and I would say test dark versus light. And then third is I want you to create a template and have 10 designs ready to be uploaded. I'll see you in the next chapter. In this section, we're going to discuss your strategy to plant as many crops as possible. The reason I love that metaphor, if you will, is that really look at Etsy as real estate, and you want to have as much real estate as possible for all the keywords that have the most opportunities. This is what's going to help you get sales. And obviously, you need to have not just real estate and the right keywords, but you also need to have the right message. Hence what we discussed in chapter 3. This is how you grab the attention of your customer and really set yourself apart. So you're going to spread seeds, look at it as across multiple niches. I recommend when you get started to pick 5 to 10 niches to go after and upload anywhere between 5 to 10 designs, depending on how comfortable you're getting. As well, you're going to see that customers are going to start favoriting your item. If they're favoriting your item, but they're not purchasing, I would recommend that, and this is on Etsy, so they're going to start favoriting. You're going to look at that under your stats, and you're going to ensure when that's happening to optimize your listing. And what I mean by that is that, okay, they like this, perhaps let me play around with the message. And I will show you how to do this at the end of this chapter. You also want to create a foundation design template like we talked about on Canva and just upload the same kind of design until you get it right. Obviously, make sure that it's easy to read and it can easily grab the customer's attention. And in this chapter as well, I'm going to talk about the anatomy of your Etsy listing to help your chances of getting discovered. So remember, you want to niche down, especially as a beginner shop with no reviews. Now, customers, and I can't stress this enough, they trust Etsy. So if you don't have reviews, this is not your excuse for you not getting sales. There's plenty of students of mine who are getting sales with 0 reviews. The reason your item is not getting purchased is because it's simply not appealing to your customer. Really put that in your head. Like, it's important for you to understand if it's not selling, it's because the design doesn't work, it's not legible, and there's no emotional pull. So ensure that you're going after keywords that are less competitive with a high search volume. So you're going to start planting those trees, if you will. And then your message, make sure that you have personality. Don't be so generic. Use the AI copy tool that I provided when you are Frankensteining those messages. Speak to specific demographic, steer up their emotions. So if I'm talking to a biker who's into Harley Davidson, well, okay, let's put ourselves in the shoes of this customer. Chances are he wants to have his girlfriend in the back of his, of his bike. So it could be something like, I love riding with you. I love having you in the back of my bike and going on adventures with you, right? So think about the avatar, what we call marketing, the customer avatar, and what they're researching. Aim to post at least 50 quality listings. This would be my recommendation in the next 30 days. Have 50 quality listing across 5 to 10 niches, depending on what you find. So these are the best-selling necklaces. I do not want you to spend time uploading other necklaces. These is what is selling. The Cuban chain link works well for obviously brother, father, boyfriends, etc. The interlocked heart. So these are really bestseller. This works well with the men demographic as well. So do not, I would say, concentrate with the love knot, concentrate with the interlocked heart when you're testing items for women. If something you feel is great with personalization, this one is a great one as well, as we saw in the grandpa example in the last chapter. And for men, I would test these 2 items. Okay, so let's break down the anatomy of a winning Etsy listing. First and foremost, it's important that your message card is front and center like this. Not tilted, not far away, really easy to read. I can, as a customer, read this, and it's front and center. And as you can see, it's placed completely vertical within the image. So make sure that it's not slanted. Front-facing images. Design must have easy to read font, and title must include keywords, so your chances are higher to rank for. So this is a great title: To My Daughter, You Are My Sunshine Necklace with Luxury Box, Gift for Daughter, Gift for Birthday, etc. So this is a title template, and this is included within the the teachable text section of this chapter. So gift purpose and niche, necklace, occasion, gift for niche, from niche. Okay, so use this as a template. So in this case, it would be gift for daughter from mom, daughter's birthday, daughter mother necklace, daughter gift from mom, to my daughter, grown-up daughter. So use this template when you are creating your titles on Etsy. You need to have keywords that people are searching for. In this case, to my daughter gift, right? So to my gift for my daughter from mom, and then you do occasion, which is birthday or graduation, gift from mom to daughter, etc. This is the description template I want you to use. So with Shine On, you will see that they usually have a pre-baked template. And what I want you to do is add this item. So these are keywords that you're going to include within the description, and I will show you exactly how. Essentially, use this as your template. So a one-of-a-kind, elegant, and then you include the name of the necklace, so Cuban chain link or Forever Love necklace for your wife, for your daughter. Include other keywords like soulmate, etc. to celebrate for her birthday, anniversary, wedding, etc. This gift will melt her heart and make the perfect gift. Include more words, so for her birthday, for her graduation, etc. So let me show you exactly what I mean. This is the baked-in Shine On description. Do not use it. What I mean by that is that a lot of Etsy sellers, beginner Etsy sellers, do not understand that, first of all, this can get you flagged to be lazy and upload exactly what Shine On is. And then also, it's not helping rank your listing. You want to have your keyword that you're using, your SEO, your tags, whatever you want to call it, that you've already researched with eRank in as many places as possible. And having them in the description is going to help tell Etsy, hey, this listing is about a gift for a daughter. So instead, you want to do this, right? Where you are including this template that I've included for you, where it says what niche, this is a gift for a granddaughter on her graduation, and then this is a perfect gift for high school graduation, college graduation, blah, blah, blah. And then you can have the Shine On description, if you will. But what's even better, and this is what an Etsy seller is doing, is that they are including the title in the description. So there's the keywords again. Then they are explaining what the gift is about, which is very similar to this template. This is, again, another opportunity for them to include as many relevant keywords. These are keywords that people are going to search when they're looking for a gift. And then they have their own little way of describing the item versus using the Shine On way. So you could take the Shine On way of describing, of doing the description, but make it your own is my recommendation. And you can save all that in a template or an Excel sheet, however you like, so it's easy for you to copy and paste. Or you could do it the quick way, which is essentially using what Shine On already has, but including this description template that I have for you. So there's a couple ways of going about it. The other thing you want to do in your listing is make sure, if possible, to add videos. There's videos available for some of the listings. Go to pages.shineon.com. and go to Shine On Creative. This is where you're going to want to click. So scroll down the page to find this, and then you're going to go to product videos. So make sure to upload videos to your listing. That's a little hack right there to help you rank higher as well. Next, when you're inside your listing details page, make sure to include all the listing details accordingly. The fact that it's a pendant, so women, girls, etc. So fill everything out. Now, don't overthink it. Stainless steel is the material that Shine On used. They also use gold, silver, and white gold. As an FYI, gemstone is usually cubic zirconia. So try to fill out as much as possible. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. The reason is Etsy likes listing with as much detail as possible. Make sure that you include the heights and length. Again, doesn't have to be 100% accurate. This is going to come from the Shine On description. Shine On has this information, okay? When it comes to shape, if it's a diamond shape, you put diamond. In this case, animal, it's for the giraffe necklace or the dragonfly. Style, you could put whatever, boho, minimalist, it doesn't really matter. Can be personalized. Well, this depends on whether or not the item can be personalized. And then make sure that you add all the 13 tags. So you're going to grab the tags from eRank. These are the keywords that you found while doing your research. So it could be a mixture of high competition and low competition keywords. And then I'm going to give you a quick hack as well to help you fill out these tags is to use Etsy Hunt. Haha. So let's say that you are doing a gift to a granddaughter and you found a competitor and you're like, wow, their listing's doing really well. What you can do is simply copy all their tags, and you can include it by copying and pasting right here, and it's going to autofill for you. So that's a little hack that you can use as well if you want to speed up your process. All right, so now I'm going to give you a quick little secret before we finish this chapter, one that might be useful for you. So one other thing that I didn't mention is that people are going to start favoriting your items, right? So I'm going to show you quickly where that is by the end of this chapter. But one thing that you'll want to play with after 2 weeks of this happening is that sometimes you might need to renew your listing. So deactivate and renew your listing. This is something that I've found out for whatever reason, it really helps putting back my listing on top of the charts. Maybe my listings died out for whatever reason. So this is a quick little trick that you can do as well to help. All right, so let's go to my dummy Etsy account. There's a couple of things I want to show you to help you understand, first and foremost, how to look at data and how to understand what listings you should be spending more time on versus the ones that you should let go of. This is the dashboard of my dummy account. In this case, I don't have a lot of listings, as you can see, but what I want you to show you is your stats. This is going to be your dashboard to understand whether or not people are favoriting an item. So you can do it on a daily basis or you can do it on the last 30 days. So in this case, someone favorited this item. So we know that, okay, this item has potential. It's a gift for best friend, etc. So what we could do here essentially is this is complete lunacy because I don't even know what I wrote. But in any case, what I would do if I'm like, okay, they favorited this item is that I would write different permutations with the same necklace. I'm like, okay, they like this, so let me try different permutation within this niche, different messages, different signature, etc. The other thing I want you to also look at under stats is to look at Etsy search. If you do Etsy search, it's going to tell you, well, in this case, I don't have a lot of listing, but it's going to tell you the different kind of search terms that people are using. So it seems like people looked at my shop, but in this case, it'd be like to my wife, etc. So these are the terms that people are using to find your listings. So this is going to give you insights as to like, okay, best friend gift, like I'm ranking high. So let me do different permutation of this to help my chances of getting a sell. So that's the thing that you'll want to ensure that you look into when you're looking at your stats. All right, so just to recap, and again, this is all in like setting up your listing. Make sure that you have all the images. As you can see, this image is front and center. Ensure that you include a video. In this case, I didn't. And so if we were to fill this out for this, we would do women, we would do material, stainless steel, white gold, and again, where is it? Gold, recycled, no. Gemstone, there's no gemstone. Primary color would be white, secondary color. So the length, I know them by heart. So it's usually 22 inch, but a quick trick. So yeah, this is not, you would have to change this. So when you're uploading it, make sure that you're also going and formatting this the right way, like this. And then the other thing is, the beauty of Etsy is that it's going to populate the length of the necklace. Usually it should, but maybe it didn't because... Okay, so in this case, the charm is 0.4 by 0.3. So I'm going to include that in the height pendant, 0.4. This is millimeter by 0.3. So as you can see, I took the information from the baked in description that's on Chinon. The shape is a heart. I can spell. The style, I could say, let's say boho hippie. The theme is love. Love and friendship can be personalized, yes, because this one is a personalizable item. And then spinner, no. Occasion, let's say wedding. Holiday, we could say Christmas, but in this case, no. Then you want to make sure that you include all your tags, which I don't have, like best friend, gift, or best friend, forever, whatever. So make sure that you include those tags from your eRank. Like, don't just come up with whatever titles like I am. eRank or Etsy Hunt. And then finally, in this case, this is going to be personalizable, right? So you want to let them know. So you only turn that on with items that are personalizable, right? So in this case, we're going to write. Okay, so make sure that you include the personalization so they understand, okay, I have to include the initial in this case. And then you go ahead and publish it. So for this chapter, I want you to create description templates for each necklaces that you're going to focus on. Just pick 1 or 2 or 3 necklaces you want to focus on. The Cuban chain link, the double heart necklace, for instance, or the love knot. These are best sellers. And then have those description templates ready to go. Use what I provided you. Make it simple. So every time you're going after a separate niche, you can include as many SEO keywords. These are keywords that you're finding on eRank to help you rank your item. Aim to post anywhere between 10 to 50 quality listings within these next 30 days across 5 to 10 niches, whatever feels right. And also create those templates to have those designs ready to go and be uploaded. Most importantly, very important, keep me posted on your progress. Join our closed Facebook group and share your wins and share whatever you're going through. I'm here to help you. Super looking forward to your successes. Let's make it happen.